Hey everybody, welcome back to class. Mark Price here at DevSlopes.com, and today we are going to talk about strings in Swift 3. So let's go ahead and open up our Xcode 8, and we can actually go to File, New, Playground. That's what I'm doing here. File, New, Playground, and let's call this String Out, Strung Out, because it's sounds cool. And let's go ahead and just save this wherever you like. Okay. So what is a string? So we're here in the playground, and a string is a core fundamental feature or type of data that you can use in an application, and you've witnessed them many times if you've ever used any type of app. And to show you, we can go ahead and open up iTunes, okay? And we can change to the apps. Actually, we want to go to the store here, App Store, okay? And here's a bunch of apps, right? Let's just click on a random app. Okay, you see these captions here? Happy, Rocket Ship, T-Rex. These are all strings. At some point, there is textual data that is being displayed to the user, and that is a string, and you've used them in every type of app. So that's what's going on underneath the hood. And even right here in the playground, the first thing it starts you off with is a string. It's a variable named str of type string. And how do you know it's of type string? Well, this is called type inference, where your variable is inferring what type it's going to be by what you put in it. Meaning, it's a string. I can't say str equals 50. It's going to yell at me if I try and do that, because str is a string. Cannot assign value of type int to type string. Okay? This could also be written as string. That's explicitly a declared type. Okay? Whereas before it was inferred. So that's a string. And a string is a series of characters, and you encompass the characters in double quotation. Okay? And you can put any type of characters you want in there. Even Unicode characters, emojis, and things like that, which is pretty cool. But you wouldn't put emojis in a string in your code. It's absolutely pointless. Don't do that. Okay. So what can you do with strings? Well, again, just think of anything in a program that has strings. You can do anything that you've ever seen in a program. So if you've seen something in a program that has words in it, that's what you can use strings with. So the options are very open. So let's just play around just to show you. So I'm going to create a new variable called first name. Like you might have this in an address book or anything else. So we'll say Jack var last name equals Bauer. Okay? Jack Bauer, he's a cool guy. Random errors and prompts currently on the Xcode beta. Yours may not have these errors and problems if you're using the live version, which is great. So first name, last name, and let's go ahead and say var full name. So now we've got a first name and a last name, right? Jack Bauer, and we've assigned it with the equals operator, or the assignment operator, into this variable. So first name is equal to Jack, last name is equal to Bauer, right? So how can we create a full name? Well, we could just create another string, right, saying Jack Bauer, but now we're copying and pasting code, and we never want to do that. So we can actually do what is called string concatenation. Okay, we can say first name, and we can use the addition symbol, the plus symbol here, plus an empty string. Actually, it's not an empty string, plus a space, plus the last name. So if you look over here on the right-hand side, it now says Jack Bauer. So all we've done is we've taken the first name here, added a space here. Okay, this is actually a character here, a space, and we added the last name. And notice how we didn't use the words themselves, we used the variables, because a variable is a representation of data. It has a memory location in your program on the hardware, and it represents a value of some kind. Okay, and so we've just created a full name, Jack Bauer. Now this variable has this string in it. Very cool. Very, very cool. So in an application like an address book, the data might be stored like this, but when you actually open up your address book on iPhone and it says Jack Bauer or the full name, it's actually probably grabbing these two data types or these two variables here, and it's concatenating them or in some way, and then it's displaying it to the user, which is pretty cool. Really cool. And this is also called string manipulation. We're manipulating strings here to do something else, which is what you're going to do all the time as a developer. So there's our full name, and we can do it another way too. Say full name 2 equals. We'll put some quotes there. This is an empty string at this point. If you see 2 quotes like this, this is an empty string. There's no characters inside of it. And we're going to do a backslash, parentheses, and then another backslash and parentheses. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the first name in here and the last name. This is called string interpolation. And what it means is that you can pass variables right into your string. So the backslash says, hey, backslash parentheses say, hey, whatever comes in between these parentheses here, we're actually going to insert a variable of some kind. So we're going to insert the first name into here and the last name into here, and here's the empty space. It gives us the exact same result. And you know, we could play around with it. We could also, let's say we had a number here, var, and let's say age equals 45. You know, we could say Jack Bauer is, and then another insertion here, and we put it passing the age. And there you have it. Jack Bauer is age 45. Okay, pretty cool. So you can insert numbers. You can insert numbers in here. You can insert variables, any type of variable that's a value type, strings as well, floats, doubles, things like that. Okay, so fun things you can do with strings. You can concatenate them. You can insert variables into them using string interpolation. That's a keyword. Write that down. And string is a class, and it has other things available to it. So another way to add things to it is we could say full name dot append. We'll pass in another string, and then we'll say the third. And so now Jack Bauer the third. Okay, so you can call this nifty little append function to append something to the end of it. You have a lot of things available to you with a string. And again, this full name right here is a variable of type string, and when you use the dot syntax, you can call different functions or properties on that string itself. Okay, which gives you a lot of opportunities to manipulate your strings and do other things. In fact, if we just type in full name and the dot, these are all the things that are available to you that you can do with your string, which is pretty cool. We're not going to go over all of them, and I don't use all of them every single day. I use a few things a lot, and a lot of the things occasionally. So you can append things, but there's more functionality available as well too. You can, well, here's a cool one. Let's say you have a book title, right, in your app. Let's say it's an app where a user can store their favorite book titles, and they decided not to capitalize anything, and so it just looks silly. So, you know, their favorite book is Revenge of the Crab Cakes. Okay, and yeah, it's kind of sloppy, all lowercase, doesn't look good. So what we can do is we can say book title equals, and then book title dot capitalized. So what's going to happen here is it's going to call this first before it does this. It's going to grab your book title, which is currently this, and then we're going to call the dot capitalized property on it, which is going to return a version of this string. It's going to return a copy of this, except where the first letter of each word is capitalized, and then it's going to shove it back into book title. So book title at this point, when it gets here, will no longer have a lowercase string in it. Okay, it'll look like this. And so this is another way you might have seen this in a program where you put in text and then the program automatically capitalizes things for you to make it look nice. Okay, that's another thing that you have available to you with strings. What else? Have you ever been in a chat room where, you know, everyone's cool and chill, just typing nicely, and then some punk kids, like, you know, typing in all caps and annoying everybody, you know, like var chat room annoying caps guy, okay? And he's like, ha ha ha, that is so funny. Or even worse, he's like, please help. Yeah, don't do this, okay? If you're learning how to code, don't go into a chat room and say, please help me now. Here is my 100 lines of code. Don't do this. If you've done this before, know who you are. No one, don't do it in all caps especially, holy smokes. It's not the way to get people to help. But anyway, so yeah, annoying chat room guy, please help me now. Here's my 100 lines of code. Well, let's fix that problem. So in our app, in our chat app, we don't want to allow this. We don't ever want to allow caps. So we're going to just force the user never to type in caps. So what we're going to do is say var lowercase chat equals chat room annoying caps guy dot lowercase. And it's annoying caps guy because the females, the women, they never do this. They're always cool and chill and nice. It's always the guys. They're just like, help me now. Help me now. Okay? Be nice. Be nice. Lowercase chat room annoying caps guy at lowercase. And now look at it. It's all lowercase. So your chat app now prevents this from happening. So this is a real functionality you might see in the real world, which is kind of cool. These are just different features of the strings that I'm showing you. You may not even use these all the time. The ones that you use the most are these ones right here. That's what you use the most when you're working with strings. What else? Like what if you had an app, for instance, that kids could have, and you didn't want swear words or something in it? How could you get rid of those things? Well, I'm not going to type swear words into this program for 1 million people to see. But, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you've ever been around Mormons before, they have their own vocabulary of swear words. Okay, heck, they say, what do they say? Oh, my heck, fetch, shiz. But anyway, those are some common ones, right? Heck and fetch, okay? So let's say we want an app that gets, that stops swear words, stops Mormon swear words, okay? So what we're gonna do, and I can bring this up because I'm a Mormon, I can say whatever I want. So don't think I'm out there offending people. So let's say in this chat app, again, we want to take out cuss words, or in this case, the Mormon cuss words. We're gonna say what the fetch, and heck, that is crazy. We're like, we don't want this in our chat room. So we can do a little bit of logic, which we haven't really covered yet, but using an if statement. And I can say if sentence dot contains, and we can say, so if the sentence contains this word, or that's the double pipe symbol under the backspace key, or if sentence dot contains heck. All right, so if the sentence contains fetch or heck, then what can we do? Well, we can say sentence dot replacing occurrences of. So let's replace all occurrences of fetch with tuna. And sentence dot replacing all occurrences of, and we'll replace heck with playa, just for fun. And look at that. What the tuna? Heck, that is crazy. And then in this case here, what the fetch, playa, that is crazy. So pretty cool. You can do fun little things like that. You can find occurrences of strings. You can remove them. We covered really like 99.9% of what you'll be using strings for over and over and over and over again, which is pretty awesome. You don't have to know that much in order to be fully functional and up and running. So just to repeat some of the keywords here, and also to recap on variables, when you have the colon and the type here, this means you're explicitly declaring a type, or the keyword is explicitly declared type, if you want to write that down. If you take off the colon and the type, this is called type inference. The variable is inferring that this is of type string because that's the data that we're passing into it. And by the way, this is the recommended way in Swift, is to use type inference whenever you can and not explicit types, okay? You can do string concatenation using the plus symbol, just adding strings together. You can use string interpolation, where you can insert variables into strings, like so, using the backslash, and then the parentheses and the variable inside. You can add things to a string using append. You can do some cool things like capitalize the first letter in each word using the capitalized property, dot capitalized. You can get lowercase, the lowercase versions of a word. And if you were wondering, why does this lowercase here have parentheses but capitalized does not? That is because capitalized is a property. It's a variable, okay? Whereas lowercase is actually a function. So if I command click this, well, it's not working, so don't have anything to show you, but this is a property, meaning it's a variable in the string class, whereas this is a function in the string class that will actually do something and return a value. There is a difference, and you'll learn as you go along. So you can get the lowercase version. You can get rid of cuss words in an app or whatever you want, or just even find strings by using the contains keyword and passing in the word, and then you can do things with it, like replace. Really cool stuff. So this is strings. You're going to use them all the time. Not much more to say about it. Mark Price at devslopes.com. See you next time.